So, hey everyone. So 2024, oh my god. Well, that was pretty symbolic of the year I've had, wasn't it? Yeah, so, Merry Christmas. So 2024. It was pretty horrendous, wasn't it? Luckily for you, this video is going to be all about the good that came out of this year. In this video, we're going to be talking about the best metal albums, best concerts, best TV shows, best films that came out of this wretched year that we are nearly at the end of. But before we do get into any of that, we're going to go through my Spotify Wrapped, considering it actually dropped earlier today. So here we are. We are on the Spotify Wrapped homepage, and yeah, I guess we'll just jump into it, shall we? So, what we got? Okay, sorry about the spontaneous Mr. Bungle. I didn't actually do my predictions as to what my Wrapped will end up being. I don't know about top songs. I know that... who are my top 5 artists going to be this year? The thing is as well, I'm not really using Spotify as much these days as I had previous. Like, I'm listening to a lot more music on CD than I have in previous years. I imagine that in my top 5 artists, Opeth will be in there somewhere. I imagine Mr. Bungle will be in there too. I think King Gizzard will probably land in there too. They did release an album this year that was quite good. I don't know if Avenged Sevenfold will. They might, in fairness. I don't know though. You know what, White Ward? White Ward might be a top band for me this year. I've been listening to them quite a bit. Or maybe Enslaved? Those are my predictions. Right, let's actually go into the Wrapped now. Hi Spotify. Life moves fast. Luckily we took notes. Thank you so much. Okay, I played 1,400 songs this year. There's a lot of Mr. Bungle they're playing right now. My top song was Carrie Stress in the Jaw by Bungle. No fucking way. I was the top 0.001. It's a banging song, but holy shit, that looks so bad on me. I streamed it 94 times starting on January 5th. Holy crap. Well, it's not a competition. There is a leaderboard. Okay, is this the top bands or top songs? Top bands or okay, top songs. Okay. Oh my god, I kind of nearly completely nailed that. Alright, let me pause. So, Carrie Stress in the Jaw, number 1. First of all, yeah, I told you my music tastes has gone off the rails recently. I'm not going to apologise because I love Mr. Bungle. Okay, second is obviously going to be S1 because that single slapped. And then 3 is None of Them Knew Were Their Robots by Bungle again, one of my favourite songs ever. Leviathan by White Ward, another one of my favourite songs. And then below that, Cosmic. I'm not exactly surprised by this outcome of top songs, so we'll just quickly move on. Fucking just hurry up with it. January was your steampunk noise funk phase. Mr. Bungle, Faith No More, Infectious Grooves. Cool. Fair. May? What was May? Why am I hearing Weezer right now? May was your indie sleaze permanent wave alternative rock season? Weezer, Killers, Queens of the Stone Age. Apart from the Killers, I don't get that. Alright, June. Okay, here's King Gizzard, I can hear them. Dragon descends, welcome. June was soggy, microtonal, neo, psychedelic moment. Listening to King Gizzard. There you go. Listen to 178 artists. Dyslexia playing now. Alright, what do we got? Mr. Bungle was my top artist this year. I am not very surprised. Your longest listening streak was 9 days. Straight of Mr. Bungle? Interesting. Top 0.05 fan. Spent 8... not 8, I spent 5,000 on them. Who else got a lot of play this year? Alright, let's see who my top pans are this year. Oh my goodness, why is Weezer 5? Look, okay, so yeah, Bungle, fair, I guessed that. Gizzard, fair. Opeth, fair. Avenged? A little bit surprised, honestly. I'm happily surprised. I'm glad they're still in my top 5. And then Weezer being 5. I did listen to Pinkerton a lot this year, actually. Pinkerton is a good album. I don't think I listened to it that much, though, did I? Maybe I did. I don't know. But mind you, I'm basing this this like Wrapped is based on my music habits on this app alone, on Spotify, right? It isn't basing it on everything. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Fair enough. Next. Alright, thanks for coming along for the ride. Oh, was this it already? Until we meet again. Okay. Hush now, Mr. Bungle. Okay, there you go. That's my Wrapped. What else have we got in the Wrapped tab? Okay, so we got 2024 Wrapped. I think we've already done that. Okay, we did that. Could do artist clips. DJ Wrapped. Oh, I think I know what that is. Never mind, ignore me. Let's do top 100 songs. What would my top 100 songs be? I don't honestly know, besides the ones I saw. Probably a lot of Gizzard, because there were no King Gizzard in my top 5 songs, which I was a bit surprised by. But let's see. So yeah, there's the top 5. Change of Seasons by Dream, there it is. I was obsessed with that song for a little bit. I'm surprised it's that high. But yeah, Change of Seasons, Air Conditioned Nightmare, This Corrosion, Cemetery Gates, Goodbye Sober Day, Ghost of Perdition, yeah, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, Fiction, Down from the Sky, Buried Alive, Robot Stop, yeah, Vanity Fair, Kirisuta Gomen, Power Nerd, yeah, there you go. There's that Devin Townsend shout out there. More Opeth, a lot of Trivium, a lot of Mr. Bungle. Hey, we got a Napalm Death. Hey, we got Devastator in there. Yeah, Trivium, Dream Theater, Pantera. Yeah, I do wear my favourite bands on my sleeve, I guess, don't I? Very literally, because holy shit. Obviously, a lot of White Ward 2. Gojira snuck in there. I'm very happy to see that. Cool. Nice. I think that's all I have to look at on Spotify. I don't think... Music Evolution in 24. What's this? Okay. Your Journey playlist. Vibes right now. Alright, Spotify. In fairness, you have put some good songs on here. Right, that's it for my Spotify Wrap. Now it's time to actually move in to section of the video that you're probably waiting for. Top 50 albums of 2024. So, let's just get into it. We're not going to waste any time. We're just going to go in and count down my top 50 favourite albums that released this year. So at the 50th spot we have Black Dahlia Murder with Servitude. 49 we have Cardinal Savagery with Graveworms, Cadavers, Coffins and Bones. Next we have Bruce Dickinson's solo album Mandrake Project. Obviously it had to sneak in there, it's pretty decent. Flesh God Apocalypse with Opera. Why did I say Oprah? It's opera. Number 46 we have Bring Me the Horizon's Posthuman. Bring Me the Horizon surprised me this year. They made a banging album, in my opinion. You call me a poser if you want, but that's just my subjective taste in music. You can disagree all you fucking like. It's not going to change my list. At number 45, we have Zeal and Ardor with Grief. At 44, we have Chat Pile with Cool World. At 43, we have Nile with The Underworld Awaits Us All. Oh, I just love Nile in general, so they don't release bad albums, right? They're just really brutal technical death metal that really hits the spot for me, so they had to sneak on there. Fair enough. To be honest, looking at this list, I'll get through them all. There's a lot of death metal in here. Anyway, next we have Fluky, I think is how you pronounce that band name, with Duckface Killings. At 41 spot, we have Dark Tranquillity with End Time Signals. Now in the top 40 we have Vision Bleak with Weird Tales. 39 we have Slime Lord with... Oh fuck me, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that album title. Chytrodomycosis Relinquished. Did I get it close enough? I don't know. At 38 we have Cemetery Skyline with Nordic Gothic. At 37 we have Earthburner with Permanent Dawn. I remember really loving that one. At 36 we obviously have Saxon with Hellfire and Damnation because... It's classic old school metal. You can't really go wrong with Saxon. At 35 you have Vitriol with Suffer and Become, another really good one. At 34 we have Brat with Social Grace. At 33 we have Benighted with Ekbomb. At 32 we have Full of Hell with Coagulated Bliss. At 31 we have Unto Others with Never Never the End. No, not Never Never the End, Never Never Land. Sorry. At 30th, we have Kerry King's solo album, From Hell We Rise. Pretty decent, you can't go wrong. It's basically just Diet Slayer in my eyes, but you can't go wrong. Then it's 29, sorry, we have Flotsam and Jetsam with I Am the Weapon. And now we're at 28, we have Nails with Every Bridge Burning. At 27, we have Nightwish with Yester Wind, I think is how you pronounce that, potentially. How it's spelt is weird, but anyway. At 26, we have Vomit Forth with Terrified of God. At 25, we have Tribulation with Sub Rosa in Eternum. At 24, we have Undeath with More Insane. At 23, we have Aura with SWNPL. At 22, we have Gatecreeper with Dark Superstition. At 21, we have Green Day's album with The Saviours. Like I say, call me a poser if you want. Go suck an egg. At the 20th spot, we have Blood Incantation with Absolute Elsewhere. Also, just have to say, it's hilarious that we have Green Day sandwiched between Gatecreeper and Blood Incantation. Anyway, moving on. At the 19th spot, we have FKU with The Horror and the Metal. At 18, we have Ex-Hoarder's new album with Defectum Omnium. It's raining quite badly outside if you can hear that. Apologies if you can, but there's nothing really I can do. 17, we have Lord Dying with Mysterium Tremendum. I do pick all the really tongue-twisty titles, don't I? Then we have 16, Ministry's new album with Hopium for the Masses. I love Ministry. I fucking love Ministry. It was so good to get this album. At 15, we have Bloodlined Wirahana. God, I'm going to have trouble pronouncing this album name. Sapienti? I don't know how to pronounce it. At 14, we have Deicide with Banished by Sin. At 13, we have Ingested with Tide of Death and Fractured Dream. At 12, we have Veil Burner, the duality of decapitation and wisdom. At 11, we have the Cavalera Conspiracy of Schizophrenia. Had to be on here. I'm a big Sepultura fan, so. Right, now we're in the top 10. Right, Judas Priest's newest one snuck into the list with Invincible Shield. At number 9, we have Dark Throne with It Beckons Us All. At 8, we have Kavian with The Formless Fires. At 7, we have King Gizzard with Flight B741. At 6, we have Ishan with his self-titled glorious atmospheric music. Gorgeous stuff. At 5, we have Sonata Arctica with Clear Cold Beyond. It was a banger when it came out, and I still love it now. Yes, it's Sonata Arctica, a band very close to my heart. I will in fact lift the veil here for a second. I am working on a discography ranking of that band that will come very soon. So I'd let you know about that. Sonata Arctica are amazing. At the 4th spot, we have Gorilla with Coma. Gorilla are, they're quickly becoming one of my favourite bands. They are always expanding their repertoire, and their new album was absolutely killer, and it was a deviation from their previous albums, and I just enjoy them trying new things. But anyway, at the 3rd spot, we have Devastator with Conjurers of Cruelty. Then at number 2, we have Devin Townsend with Power Nerd. I did foreshadow this placement here, but Devin Townsend's new album was fucking brilliant. Love Devin Townsend. And then at number 1, obviously, we have Opeth with The Last Will and Testament. It's not really a surprise, the top spot. In fact, the top 5 I would not move in any order other than how they are. The other ones could probably be shifted 1 or 2 above or below each other. But I feel pretty happy with my top 50. And with all the 50 I mentioned there, I highly recommend them. I've listened to every album on this list twice at the minimum. The higher up the list they are, the more times I've heard them, because I just can't get enough of them, right? Especially in the top 10. You know what, especially in the top 5. The top 5 albums, above all else, if there's any takeaway, try those. But yeah, that was my top 50 albums of 2024. Now we're going to go through the awards for the other stuff. So, like, best Doctor Who episodes this year, best movies that came out this year, best TV shows. So let's just go through it in that order. So, we only have a top 5 for the Doctor Who list this year, considering we did get a full season of Doctor Who, but it did only amount to 8 episodes. So yeah, I picked out my 5 favourites. But I will say this new season of Doctor Who that's come out this year is one of the best runs of Doctor Who that I've experienced in a long time. I love Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. I love Millie Gibson as Ruby in this series, and every episode is a classified banger. It is absolutely excellent. So we're going to go through. So my 5th favourite Doctor Who episode that came out in 2024 is The Devil's Cord. I kind of knew it would be in this list. It is a fucking belter through and through. Jinx Monsoon is an amazing villain, plays an amazing part in this episode. Obviously Ncuti is on top form, the whole cast is, and I like that Doctor Who are doing, well, not a musical episode, but a music-centric episode, and they do it well. It is a great one. At the my 4th favourite Doctor Who of this year was Boom. Enough said, it's the Landmine episode. It's crazy, it's awesome, and I've already done a review on all these episodes. I don't know why I'm talking your ear off about Doctor Who. I've done enough of that already this year. At my 3rd favourite spot of Doctor Who episodes this year is Dot and Bubble. My 2nd favourite Doctor Who episode that came out this year was Rogue. It's such a fucking banger. And then my favourite is 73 Yards, the weird cerebral, outside the box, sort of Black Mirror-y episode of Doctor Who is the one that I liked the most. Go figure. But yeah, it was great. And but I'll reiterate what I said. This season of Doctor Who that came out this year, there isn't an episode that I didn't thoroughly enjoy, so any one of those episodes could have snuck on. It just so happens that those 5 I right now in this moment happen to prefer over the others. So there you go. That was the Doctor Who awards, as it were. Now we move on to the top 5 TV shows to come out this year as a nice little soft segue from Doctor Who. So let's go through, counting up from 5th to 1. So these can be shows that have existed previously, but a new season has come out by them, but I am judging the season, not the show at large. So when I mention this 5, keep that in mind. So the 5th spot, we have House of the Dragon Season 2. I'm planning to do like a podcast or talk my piece about Game of Thrones at large. But when it comes to House of Dragon, Season 1 was so fucking good, which made Season 2 look really bad, but looking at it objectively on its own, Season 2 still has a lot that it does so well. I won't spoil it because it might be a show that you haven't seen, and this isn't a video for me to spoil details about stuff, but what I will say is there's nothing in there that pisses me off like the later seasons of Game of Thrones. That's all I'll say for now. I'll put a bookmark in the whole Game of Thrones topic for a future video. My 4th favourite is The Penguin. I love this one. I would because I love the Matt Reeves Batman film to no end, and I love that whole world and what was set up and like realised in that film. So I was just so excited to see anything else in that universe that is anywhere near close to the quality of the Batman starring Robert Pattinson, right? Because that film was just so fucking stellar. But anyway, my 3rd favourite TV show that came out this year is The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So I'll talk about it in its own video at some point in the future, but this season would have ranked so much higher if the ending wasn't so poo. That's all I'll say. It did not disappoint when it came to revealing, Rick Grimes' absence in the later seasons of The Walking Dead at large, but it doesn't deliver in giving me a satisfying conclusion to this whole conflict that got us here, right? So, yeah. If it did, then it would be number 1, easily. But the fact it doesn't, or maybe not number 1, but anyway, regardless. I'll say my piece on The Walking Dead TV universe and its millions of spin-offs in its own separate video, because I need to say my piece on the whole thing, because, yeah, The Walking Dead is suffering a very slow and agonising death in the TV universe these days, and, yeah, I'm going to say my piece on it, but that's not for here. That's for a future video. Right, my 2nd favourite show to come out this year is Arcane Season 2. Not going to fucking say anything else about that. You need to experience Arcane for yourself if you haven't already. It is a goated show. And the number 1 is no surprise. It's Doctor Who Series 14. Doctor Who Series 14 is obviously the best show to come out this year, best season of television that 2024 has to offer, in my opinion, is Doctor Who. And its first season reboot or whatever you want to call it. Series 14 is what I like to say. But to each his own. But there you go, those are my top 5 shows. I could have put a top 10 in, but I'm not as invested in other TV shows I watched this year. I could have mentioned other stuff, but I decided to leave it to a top 5. But now we do indeed go into a top 10 2024 movies that came out this year. And we're going to start from the 10th spot to the 1st spot, and we're just going to get into it. Once again, no spoilers. These are just mentions. I'm not going to be pitching them to you. You can watch them if you want to. But at the 10th spot we have The Strangers Chapter 1. At the 9th place we have Fall Guy. At the number 8th spot we have Never Let Go. 7 we have My Old Ass. At 6 we have Inside Out 2, which might be a surprise, but whatever. I'll say more if I'm asked more in the comments. At the 5th spot we have Alien Romulus. At number 4 we have Deadpool 3. At number 3 we have Longlegs. At number 2 we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and then number 1 is A Quiet Place Day 1. Yeah, I know that this list of movies is front loaded with a lot of fucking horror movies in there, but go figure, it's my favourite film genre, shoot me. But yeah, and then the last little bit I want to talk about is the best concerts that I attended this year. And we do indeed have a top 10. Because I went to a lot of concerts this year. I went to too many. I went to so fucking many this year. And I enjoyed, yeah, pretty much all of them. So the honourable mentions that I'll quickly just rapid fire through are Suzi Quatro, Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper was brilliant, by the way. And so was ZZ Top. All amazing bands. They're all bands that, like, I've wanted to see because they're all older. They're all from an earlier era of rock, and I wanted to see them to tick them off my bucket list and say, yeah, I saw them. But now we do move into the top 10 concerts that I attended. So at the 10th spot we have Dragon Force. When I saw them at Camden, and they had the supporting acts of Infected Rain and Amaranth. And they were bloody great. At the number 9 spot, we have Marduk at the Underworld, and I saw them with Origin and Dude Sven's. There was a band before, but I didn't arrive until Dude Sven's was on. I missed like the first band, so I only saw the 3 after it, unfortunately. But the gig was brilliant, and it was my first black metal gig, and it was quite a pleasant experience. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it that much, because obviously you hear a lot of horror stories and mixed opinions on the black metal community, as it were, because of the history behind it, you know, and the bigoted National Socialist corner of it, right? So you kind of build up like a suspicion in your head about it. But no, it was absolutely excellent. I met 0 nasties there. It was just a lot of fun, and I actually had a nice chat with a few people at the bar about our shared love of Marduk and Origin. But yeah, now we move on to the 8th spot, where I saw Ailstorm with Corpaclani and Heidevolk. Yeah, I saw them at the O2 Forum in Kentish Town, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great. The stage show for Ailstorm blew me away. And what was so great about this venue, and I've been here one other time this year, I think, if I'm not forgetting any others, but this venue, the O2 Forum at Kentish Town, has such a good sound system, which just made, like I say, Corpaclani, Ailstorm, Heidevolk, they all sounded as good as they do on their albums, and that is always a sign of a great venue facilitating and correctly sound mixing the bands they have, because they understand what they sound like, right? Rather than brick walling it. Right, at the 7th spot we have Judas Priest. I saw them at Wembley, and they had Saxon and Uriah Heep opening for them. Lots of classic bands on this lineup. It was a great gig overall. Nothing to note. It's Judas Priest, man. They delivered for the most part. I will say, when they got to Painkiller in the set, it was a tiny bit underwhelming because of Rob not being able to hit, you know, the vocal notes in that song as well as he used to. But besides that, it was an amazing gig. I really had a good time. At the 6th spot, my 6th favourite gig this year was Napalm Death at Brixton. I've obviously seen Napalm Death before, but this is the first time that they were headlining and only had other heavy, brutal, mostly grindcore bands on their bill. So, Pig Destroyer. Actually, that's the only other grindcore band on this lineup. The other ones had a bit of different to them, like Primitive Man is more like sludgy doom metal, and then Wormrot I don't know what to classify them as. They're definitely like technical death is the best way to maybe classify them. But whatever the case, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. And yeah. Right, now in the top 5. At the 5th spot, we have the Foo Fighters. Yes, somehow I managed to scrounge tickets for the Foo Fighters with me and my dad. It was brilliant. It really was brilliant. And a fun story about this gig. So, as trains coming out of London fucking suck ass these days, blatantly true. There were a few gigs that I went to this year that I've spoken about and will speak about, where I had to leave before the end to catch my last train home, which is fucking arse. It really pisses me off that that's a thing, that trains can cancel and you can't get home. But for this Foo Fighters one, me and Dad, we were hovering in our seats, ready to dart as soon as like a good song is finished, and maybe we like leave before the end of the set list. And so what we did is we left our seats from the pews and we went down a few lower levels to where we're like on the same floor as the exit, right? This was a very big gig, by the way. This was West Ham that we saw them at. But yeah, we kind of just were hovering, stood up, peering out at the big stadium stage, and we were like, right, let's probably dip. And then they started playing Everlong, the final track on their set list. And we're like, oh shit, we've got to stay for this one, don't we? It's like, oh, but this is the last one. Everyone's going to be piling out onto the train and we're not going to get home. But I'm so glad we did stick around, because we saw the best firework display that I've ever seen at a gig ever. I was thoroughly blown away by the finish with Foo Fighters. I like the Foo Fighters quite a lot, actually. They're one of my favourite grungy punk bands. I don't go out of my way to listen to them all the time, but when they're on, I'm never turning them off, right? But seeing them live and hearing how good the sound was for such a big stadium, and all the hits that I didn't realise that I knew word for word, right? And it was just such a great experience. So I think that Foo Fighters really did earn their spot on the list for me, because they killed it. They really did. I had such a good time. At my 4th spot, my 4th favourite gig this year was actually Exodus. So I saw them at Islington, and it was a full fuck-off thrash gig. It was bloody excellent. They had Hyrax and Exuma opening for them, and it was just so fucking fun all the way through. It was nice to see Exodus after all this time, because they are one of my favourite thrash bands. And I got to see all my favourite songs of theirs. And obviously they got to play mostly Bonded by Blood towards the end of their set, but they also played Death Amphetamine and Beatings Will Continue and stuff like that, right? So great set, great gig, and great opening bands as well. And also great venue. Right, now into the top 3. These are the big boys. These are the ones that are in contention for being some of my favourite gigs that I've ever been to in my life. So my 3rd favourite is Mr. Bungle. Of course it is. Mr. Bungle have appeared so many times in this video already, but here they are again. So yeah, I fucking loved the shit out of the Mr. Bungle gig. I've been wanting to see them for quite a while. This is the other band that I saw at the O2 Forum that I was mentioning earlier, and it was such a treat to see this band finally. And yeah, I have nothing to know. I don't want to spoil what their set list was, because it might still surprise some people to know what they are playing live isn't what people would expect. But nothing what Mr. Bungle does is what people expect. So, and they might change their set list from one night to another. I don't know. I just know what I experienced was fucking amazing, and I really enjoyed it. But now at number 2, my 2nd favourite. Now these top 2 are kind of tied for first, I'll be honest. But here I've written this one as 2nd and the next one as 1st, so we'll do it in that order. So my 2nd favourite is Sepultura. Now that I think about it, Sepultura probably should be number 1. So yeah, Sepultura's farewell tour is happening, and I actually got to see them at Hammersmith. I mean, you guys know how much I love Sepultura, right? So it's a given that I had to see them at one point, and I'm so glad that I did before they retired, to be honest. I think what was so joyous about this gig was, one, that also Obituary was opening, one of the opening bands. There are fucking 4 opening bands, that's a lot. And I obviously really love Obituary. I think they're an amazing band, one of the best classic death bands in my opinion. But then the 2 bands that are also opening were like Jesus Piece and Ginger, and I didn't know anything about them, and Jesus Piece really delivered as the seat warmer. The very first band on, they killed it. But then Ginger blew me away. I know none of their songs, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. But obviously the main attraction was me getting to see Sepultura live, finally, for my first time and for my last time, sadly, probably. Hopefully not, but probably will. Sepultura's set list, I couldn't have imagined being any better. Some people might be annoyed with it because people like the Max Cavalera stuff and not the Derek Green stuff, but those people can suck it. I like all eras of Sepultura, so I was really, really happy with this set list because they played literally almost all of my favourite Sepultura songs from their new era, from their era post Roots, right? And then they also, excuse me, played all of the hits from the Cavalera years, so I just couldn't be happier. There really isn't a song that I would change from their set list. Sure, there might be ones that they missed out that I would want in there, but I wouldn't know what they'd swap it to, right? So, yeah, Sepultura. And then my number one is actually Anthrax. So the lineup for this was Testament, Creator, and Anthrax. I went into this with high expectation of a Testament and Anthrax, and I knew nothing about Creator. Zilch. I know their hits like World War Now, 666, Satan is Real, stuff like that, Pleasure to Kill. But I didn't know much more than their hits, and I was like, okay, cool, sounds like another cool fresh band. I'll just let them play. I know the hits, I can sing along if I want to, but I'm here for Testament and Anthrax. And I went away with having enjoyed the set list of Creator by far the most. Their stage show, their performance, like the antics, the pyrotechnics, the set list in general. I was blown away by Creator. So at this gig, there were a few tube stops that were shut down under repair, so I couldn't make my direct route to get to Hammersmith for this gig, which means I was like half an hour late. The first band hadn't come on yet, Testament yet, luckily. But it did mean I was late getting in, which means most of the merch at the merch stand was out of stock. All of the larges and mediums that I would buy at a merch stand were unavailable from what I wanted from Testament, or Anthrax for that matter. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I just went and sat down without grabbing any merch. No, I tell a lie. No, hold on. I did buy merch as soon as I came in, silly me. It was a big fuck off flag of theirs, which I still haven't found a place in my room for because it's so bloody huge. You know, I can barely see it on. It fills up the whole frame. But yeah, you can see that, right? So I bought this because I had to, because fucking look at it. But yeah, and then I called it there. I wasn't going to buy a band shirt because all of the larges and mediums that I wanted from both Testament and Anthrax were sold out in my size. So what can you do? I sit down. I enjoy the shit out of Testament because of course I do. And then I get up, have a little stretch my legs, and then I come back and Creator's come on, and holy fucking shit! It's so good. It's so good, in fact, that I genuinely, halfway through the gig, I don't have the shirt on me, I genuinely stood up, walked to the merch stand and said, yeah, that one. And I pointed at a tour shirt that's just Creator and just had the tour dates on it. And I was like, yes, that one, please. They were that good. Creator fully blew away my expectations. That's my rant over about that gig. It was fucking excellent, though. It was so good. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of my ramblings about what good came out of 2024, because as it turns out, there's a decent amount that we got that was actually quite decent, wasn't it? Let me know what your favourite albums of the year were, your favourite TV shows, episodes, movies, Doctor Who, whatever. Let me know what your favourite things to come out of 2024 are, and they don't have to be things that I listed here. It could be favourite foods or anything personal that happened this year that was good. I'd just like to celebrate the positive wherever possible. So with that wholesome note out of the way, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas, depending on when you're watching this. This is going to come out around Christmas time, I imagine, or a bit before it. So I hope you get spoiled by Santa Claus, and I hope you have a Happy New Year. And let's pray for a better year with 2025. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching very much, guys. See you later. Take care. Oh, I talk way too much.